Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Beth, and I just finished reading Again and Again by Johnathan and Envison. Now, this is one of the book of the months for November of 2023. This book was actually published this month and is about 320 pages long. So, this book actually falls into one of my favorite genres of books, in which I call it Old Man and Nursing Home. And so I was actually very excited to read this, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed. I think that the actual modern day nursing home material in this book is a lot more invigorating than these tall tales that are being told. So essentially, the story is there is this man in a nursing home named Eugene, and he basically believes that he's lived multiple past lives, most of them including the love of his life, who is Gaia, in which he's chasing her and he wishes for her to be his, but she's never in fact his. He befriends a cleaner at his nurturing home named Angel, and also strikes up a kinship with him because prior to that he was very much a loner, didn't really have many friends throughout his whole lifetime, and struggles with a lot of trauma and turmoil through this life, including domestic violence, foster homes, and of course living in mental facilities. Um, I would like to say that I think the actual story of Eugene is what makes the book. I don't like the past lives, the telling of his love of Gaia. I do think that it's cool to see that he is a unreliable narrator. There comes a point in the book in which a story he was telling Angel, his confidant, which was a lie about this current lifetime, not past lifetimes. So it really makes you not sure, not really believe that he has had these prior lifetimes. He kind of discounts himself because he knows that none of this actually occurred. So that's all I really have to say about that. I think the writing isn't anything special. You do watch as this old man progressively, secludes himself and dies, and he tries to connect with the world around him, but it's too late at this point, which is, ironically beautiful, but at the same time, I wish we focused more on Eugene and less on this fantasy narrative because there's this huge pushback throughout the whole novel between Eugene and his stories, and he doesn't like how nobody believes him, and he gets angry at other people, and it's kind of ruined his life to have these stories and be so adamant about these stories. And he does come to a point in which he stops talking about them, but not really because he's still encouraged to do it. I I mean, you have to love the tenacity, but at the same time, it doesn't feel genuine. There's a lot about just that feature of the story, which is such a huge. I mean, you even see, you know, this cover and the puzzles, and it is such a huge feature of the book, and yet I disliked it greatly. I think that if you are going to read a book in this genre of old man and nursing home, my personal favorites are The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared, which has a best-selling film, and also The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen. That series, but most specifically the first book, because I think the spin-off and the sequel just didn't quite match the original. And what those books have that this doesn't, is they still have that fantastical quality. 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared has more so than The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen, because that one is more, I would say, entrenched in reality. Well, this one, it wants that fantastic quality, but at the same time, I feel that it was forced. Not to say that I believed the 100-Year-Old Man, because, he loves blowing up things and dynamite, and he gets into uh, he gets into kind of a crime event, and, you're thinking of an old man that's on the run, and it's hilarious. I laughed out loud in that book. This book, it didn't really affect me emotionally. I don't know if it was the writing. I wanted to be affected by this love story, but especially at the very end of the book, there's this last chapter, and it really wants you to be pushed emotionally, and it just didn't feel true to the book. It has this very poignant last paragraph that I just didn't think it fit, about love and finding love and seeing it right in front of you. And I'm thinking, that is not the point of your stories at all. I don't really understand how that correlates. So I'm honestly going to say this is not a recommendation for me. I think that if you want to read within this genre, you should read the two books that I mentioned previously. I I still have faith in this genre. I'm not about to turn it down, but at the same time, I think that if you're going to write a main character that's this cranky old man, you have to stick to his characteristics. I feel that he was very flimsy and not very realistic in his motivations. Well, I hope you enjoy my view and have a good day.